Brown from Iowa High School, and you asked the question, what would my life be without electricity? Well, let's see. I'm going to kind of narrow it down first. What is my life with electricity? Well, my life with electricity is very convenient. I have entertainment, such as my TV and my computer. I have my lights. Every time I walk into a room, I flick on a light, right? What else do I have? How about refrigerating? I keep my fruits and vegetables and meats cold. That's very convenient, isn't it? What about my water? I use water to bathe, to wash my clothes, to dry my clothes, to washing myself, to wash my dishes. Wow. But we don't think about where does our water come from. We just turn on the faucet and there it is. But electricity helps transport the water from the water company to my house. That's another way electricity helps. And on my microwaves, my coffee pots. What about my climate? We have a lot of climate control now because of electricity. I can turn up my heater whenever it's cold in the winter, or I can turn it down whenever it's hot in the summer. Electricity is a big part of our lives, I see. So now we're going to go on to, you asked the question, what my day-to-day life would be without electricity. Well, wow, that would be really bad. But I'm going to tell you, fixing my hair in the morning, I plug in a straightener, but not anymore. Not without electricity. I wouldn't be able to do my hair in convenient amount of time, under 15 minutes. It would take longer. I'd have to find different styles and different ways. My entertainment would be definitely minimized. I would have to play board games with my family. I would have to do card games instead of getting on that computer and Facebooking someone. I would have to run over to their house and talk to them. Telephones wouldn't be because we wouldn't have electricity. Lights, our daytime would be much more valued. But since we wouldn't have electricity, then we would also use lanterns at night if we would like to read or if we would like to work on something productive. So lanterns would be carried around at night. Getting my water, I wouldn't just turn on a knob and there it was. I would have to go to a well, which we had probably drilled ourselves, and then I would have to go get a bucket of water, bring it back. But that would also limit to me washing my clothes. It would be countless times I would have to go get water because I would have to hand wash all my clothes. I would have to pretty much boil my own water because of cooking and stuff. We wouldn't have those nice flat top stoves where electricity helps. We wouldn't have nice ovens for baking, microwaves, everything. I would have to hand wash. I would have to go hang out to dry. I wouldn't have a nice dryer. Also, electricity, my automobiles. Of course, we could probably have automobiles without electricity, but we just wouldn't have electrical cars. But still, what about the fuel that we pump? I couldn't just walk up and stick a nozzle in and just wait for it to pump up. I would have to go get my own fuel and I would have to pour it in. So there's a lot of handiwork. My music that I listen to would definitely be different, and for musicians it would be different. They wouldn't have wide concerts. No concerts? How would musicians make their money? I'm sure a musician's life would be pretty poor because they couldn't reach out and get their music out there. It would just be in their surroundings. So without electricity, we wouldn't have musicians. I wouldn't have my music to listen to, and I would probably have to make my own music if I wanted to dance or sing. So that's another thing that my life would be without electricity. What about washing your car? Sometimes we can just go through a little drive-through with a little washing car and get it washed and clean and it's done, right? But without electricity, I would have to hand wash everything I owned, including my car. So that's another thing. Life without electricity also would be refrigerating my foods. I wouldn't have a nice refrigerator to keep my foods fresh and cold, and I wouldn't be able to eat the fruits that would be out of season, right? So my meats would have to be either smoked or be preserved by salt. Or my vegetables. I couldn't just go out and go to my pantry and grab a can of green beans when they're not in season. So with life without electricity would mean that I would have to go out, make my own crops. I would have to either can my fruits and vegetables or eat them while I have them, and then just not rely on them for whenever they're out of season. I would have to go get something else. So there's a lot of things that without electricity things would be limited to me. Also, without electricity, I mentioned my music, but that means I wouldn't have my iPod to plug in. I wouldn't have a radio to turn on. I would just be, making my own music. So life without electricity it seems pretty rough. It's not very convenient, and it's, you just have to make do, very time consuming. Also, thinking about clothing, thinking about big industries. They, produce a lot of clothes for us to go to the store and buy. But wonder if they don't have those big machines, those stitching machines that could stitch up a nice little dress for me or a nice outfit for me. That would limit me to have to go make my own clothes by sewing, hand sewing, and doing everything by hand, which would take time and which would probably be very, very inconvenient, just because I would be sitting at home, making clothes instead of working on schoolwork and my education. So a lot of things revolve and rely on electricity. And I want to thank you for watching my video. And by the way, if I did not have electricity, you would not be able to view this video. Thank you.